I'm going to show you step by step what a citation and a reference is, how they're different, and what that means for you and your assessments. Citing and referencing is important for the same reason that we tag a person's handle on social media when we use or share their content. We're showing that we haven't stolen ideas, images, or words from other people. But while citations and references are linked, they're very different. The reference is the long version that has all of the detail about our source of information. No matter what the content is we're referencing, every reference has the same 4 pieces of information: author or artist, date, title, and source. For example, if we're referencing a journal article, the author component would have the surname and then the initials of the first names of all of our authors. The date would then be the year of publication, for example, 2023. The title would then be the name of the specific research article that we're referencing. And the source is the journal where that research article was published. We would then also include the volume number, issue number, and page numbers so that anybody can find that information. Usually the biggest thing that changes with our references depending on the content is the source. All of our references go together at the end in a section that's called references or bibliography. What your section is called will just depend on your discipline or specific subjects, or sometimes your lecturer will choose. There are different referencing styles, and the most common ones you'll see at university are APA, AMA, MLA, Chicago, and Harvard. Your university will have a guide for each of these reference styles, and in that guide it will have examples for how to reference different types of content. You can then use these examples and just input the information from your specific source. A faster way to reference and change between different referencing styles, though, is to use a referencing software package like EndNote. I've created a step-by-step guide on how to use EndNote to cite and reference in Word, so I'll just include the link in the description below. Now, for every reference we must have a citation in our text. You can think of the citation as the shortened version of our reference, and it only has 2 parts to it: author and date of publication. In the author section, we just put the surname. We don't have the initials of the first names like we do in the reference section. We then have the date of publication, which must be the same as the one we put in the reference list. This makes it possible for our readers to find that reference. We use citations like signposts. They direct our reader to where the reference is. And in Word, we can even hyperlink these citations so that they become underlined and blue, and our reader can click on them and it will jump them down to the reference section. And this turns our citations into giant billboards with flashing lights, so it's really obvious where we found our source of information. How we write our citation depends on how many authors there are. When we have 1 author, we have the surname and then the date of publication. When there's 2 authors, we have surname and the surname of the second author, and then the date of publication. Whether we use the word and or the ampersand symbol will depend on what referencing style we're using. Then for 3 or more authors, it's the same across all referencing styles. We write the surname of the first author, followed by the words et al. And et al just means and others. And then of course we would have the year of publication. There are 2 main types of citations we use in text, and they're called parenthetical and narrative. Parenthetical just means we put brackets around the author's name and the date of publication. And that type of citation usually goes at the end of a sentence, or at least at the end of a piece of information before a comma and more detail in our sentence. The other type of citation, which is narrative, is when we use the author's name in text in our sentence, and then we just put the date of publication in brackets directly next to the author's name. For example, Smith 2020 found that XYZ. You can use both parenthetical and narrative citations throughout your assessments. Parenthetical is the most common type, and it's the easiest to use when we're first starting to cite and reference. No matter what type of citation we use though, it's important that we put that citation directly next to the piece of information that we got from that source. And if it's for an image, that we put it directly in that figure caption. At university, we need to make sure that for every piece of information we use, we have a citation and a reference, so we don't lose marks or get accused of plagiarism. I always find it best to go through my work and check each citation by highlighting it on the reference list. That way it's easy for me to see if I've missed a citation in text or a reference from the bibliography section. Make sure to let me know in the comments section any questions you have about citing and referencing, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you'd like to learn how to cite and reference in Word, then watch this video here, where I show you the 2 most common ways to cite, and I give you a tool that can speed up the whole process.